early Middle Ages, they were representatives of the government. This was important shit. This was a big deal. That's why we still have the documents in 1998. Think about that. Documents written between 450 and 1100 AD still exist, and they happen to be about investigations into ghost stories? That can't be nothing that the church managed to preserve those. It's not just that they managed it. It's that it was a priority. That's a big deal. It's a huge deal. This face is me trying to impress upon you how big a deal it is. With empathy. It's a huge deal. Not just for ghost hunters, modern ghost hunters. It's a huge deal for modern anthropologists. It's a huge deal for men exactly like my new superhero, Jean-Claude Schmidt. And I mean that. Please don't sue me for reading this, Mr. Schmidt. Please. Please. Hire me to read the audiobook. This is incredible. I'm emotional. I'm on the edge of tears. This is the manic part of bipolar 2. When I get excited, I get all the way excited. That's why I have to drag this stuff out, because I'll go for 8 hours. I'll read this whole book in one sitting. If I had an audience, I would read this whole book. I would have to leave, and then I would go to my tent, and I would make that happen, because I've got the emotional energy right now to do that. So I have to pace myself. I have to pace myself, or I'm gonna burn out, and then I'm gonna be bitchy for a month. And I'm never getting out of homelessness if I let my audience make me bitchy every day. That's real. Right. He even goes on to make the point that I made in one of the shorts, that the worldview of the early medieval has been deliberately eradicated. It was deliberately eradicated in the 1900s, but there's a reason that it was deliberately by 1900, but there's a reason it was deliberately eradicated by 1900 and then occulted in the 1900s, and it's because of men like Gardner. It's because of neo-paganism and Wicca. That's why. Because we didn't have the people who were going to do what Gardner and the neo-pagans did, and who were trying to do it in the 1800s, and the people who were trying to do it in the 1700s, the people who were trying to keep that Celtic worldview alive, there are no documents of that Celtic worldview. The only way they were able to even claim to understand that Celtic worldview was from the folklore they had. So they were using the Eddas and Beowulf, and it wasn't until the 1900s that it really got out into the popular milieu that, hey guys, those were written, not composed, but written by Christians in the 1300s. Like, way too late for you to base a neo-pagan religion on them, because they're already tainted with Christianity. Like the Ragnarok might be an entirely Christian apologetic attempt to give the Celts that had been pushed out of Iceland by the Christians the Christians are coming prophecy to lead the pagans that would continue to read those stories or continue to hear those stories into the future, a bridge to Christianity of peace, a peaceful bridge to Christianity, because the Viking worldview had already been Ragnarok. They would already have a way there, because the end of the world had already come and passed. Exactly like the Japanese soldiers who refused to stop fighting until the emperor himself acknowledged that the war was over and had been lost. That same thing. It's worldview. When you're talking about religion and you're talking about worldview, you're talking about cult, you're talking about belief, and we're talking about belief. When you're talking about what you believe, it's that deep. It goes that deep. You need somebody that high up on the religious totem pole to tell you it was all bullshit, man. It was all bullshit. We're sorry, it was all bullshit. And then even then, when cultists do that, how many people actually walk away from it? And when they walk away from it, when they do genuinely walk away from it, they're not undamaged. They're ruined. And in a real way, I'm trying to give you something that will fix that damage that you have sustained by a cult somewhere in your life. Because you got to understand, grade school is cult, guys.